up, y'all? This is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. You know, we're here to discover the best people on the planet, to come on here, grow, challenge, and transform your thinking. Today, and I'm going to try to do this right, Nathan Gewondjan. I hope I said that okay.
Nailed it. Perfect.
He's a best-selling author. He's a business owner. He's an investor. He believes that anything you do can produce massive wealth. So you know we're going to get into that. And his book, Open-Minded Education, contains the secret to just do that. And I am super stoked that you're here, Nathan. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm having a good day, long day, and I love having conversations. So to me, this is my energy. Love this stuff. So before we get into all the nitty gritties of being open-minded and having all this money and being massively wealthy, whatever that means, right? Because that means a lot of things to different people. I want to know a little bit more about you. So tell us about you, Nathan.
Yeah, for sure. So like you mentioned, I'm a best-selling author. I actually co-authored the book with my younger brother, and
cool.
We've just been having fun, really just following our passion. That's what it really comes down to. Like you mentioned, I'm a business owner, so I actually co-own multiple businesses. I don't really own any businesses, just me personally. I like going into something with a partner, and so yeah, just doing that as a passion. I kind of joke around with people. I solve problems for a living. It's kind of what I joke with people, and when they ask what I do.
That's awesome, though. Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up in the Bay Area in California. Began investing at the age of 15, and I love reading. I love learning, and just excited to help lift others up as well.
So is getting involved with like other businesses and having partners and stuff just something that you found to be more lucrative for you, and just not doing it all on your own, or why make that decision?
Yeah, I definitely think that is part of the case. I personally I like at least owning a portion of it, because I guess I can see it becoming more passive than
Okay.
just another job, so to speak. And so, I mean, you might say I work however many jobs, with however many businesses I have, but it's not like a traditional job.
Right.
It's a
Right.
little more freedom, a little more kind of on my own terms, on my own schedule. And so that's kind of why I like it, a little more freedom. And yeah, it is shared responsibility, kind of shared. You don't have to bear all the burden or the weight by yourself, and it's just kind of nice in that regard.
Yeah. So what got you into wanting to do business and stuff like that? Like you also mentioned investing, all of that. So was that something that was always a part of your life? Like your parents showed you how to do that, or what got you into doing that?
Great question. So yeah, my parents are actually entrepreneurs, and
Mhm.
I'm helping them still with their company. We do
Awesome.
HVAC, so like
Mhm.
heating and air conditioning, and we're getting ready to start open up a second branch. But what really that kind of opened the door for me
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
entrepreneurship and business and stuff like that. Um, but funny enough, for a long time, I just wanted to be an actor or like a movie director,
Mhm.
and it wasn't until I really sat down and thought about, okay, what kind of lifestyle do I want to live? Do I want to, do everything those movie actors do, be around that environment?
Yeah.
The short story or short answer is no.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so that kind of led me down the path of, okay, well, what type of life do I want to live? Like, do I want to spend 5 months away from my family shooting a film, or do I want to, maybe work a little longer hours up front, but down the road know that it'll benefit me and my family. So just kind of a lot of soul searching
Yeah.
in preparation to get there.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and it was not always easy. In fact, most of the time it wasn't easy, and it's
I'm
still
sure.
still not easy, not meant to be easy. But it's the path I've chosen and the path that I enjoy.
So, I mean, so you got into business and you got into investing and all that, but why author a book, right? Because those are two different things, right? So you were trying to avoid like having a future Johnny Depp trial. I get it, you know.
I mean, you're
I
not wrong. You're not wrong.
totally get it, totally get it. But what made you, become an author? Because I think that's it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different ball game, right? But it sounds like you're using, at least from what I read in your bio, that that you are trying to teach others like the strategies that you're using, right? Are you coaching people as well? And that's why you authored a book, or what? How did that come into play?
Right. I don't at this time. I don't do any formal coaching. I have a
Hmm.
lot of people that come to me and ask questions like,
Hmm.
how did you do this, or what do you do here? What would you recommend, or what are your thoughts? I do a lot of just kind of informal coaching.
Yeah.
Um, Down the road, definitely we'll probably do some more of that. Um, but as far as the reason why I decided to author a book is, or write a book, is just I love the idea of setting the human mind free. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess personally, in so many ways, I've found that, I mean, we all grow up with different boxes, right? We're kind
Right.
of
Right.
living in a box, and certain mentalities, certain things, and it's just a matter of figuring out how we can get out of the box
Hmm.
and kind of create our own box, so to speak. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think we can ever do away with the boxes,
Right.
um,
Right.
but it's just a matter of figuring out how to free ourselves if that's what we want. And so
Right.
that's kind of the reason why we wrote the book, is to help people understand that, I mean, you don't have to do things a certain way, at least the nitty gritty things a certain way
Hmm.
to get to a certain result. There are certain laws and certain rules you need to follow to get to where you want to be, that are just universal to anyone and
Right.
everyone. But things like going to college, or doing, even dropping out of college. Like, there's not a one way
Right.
to success. And like you mentioned previously, like, success, wealth, that's all relative depending on what your point of view is. And so
Right.
we covered that a little bit in the book, just with your mindset. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, that's kind of the reason why we wrote the book, is just to help people see that, there isn't just one way. It's not,
Yeah.
education is not a linear experience. It's kind of
Right.
be all over the place. So
Right. I think in the past they used to almost be a linear experience, right? Like that was what you had to do, right? You had to go to school, get good grades, graduate, go to college. It was like really not too many options. If you dropped out of school, everybody always said your life would just be harder, all that kind of stuff. But I think we're quickly learning that that is not the new way.
right.
There's so much education out there now that people are giving away for free. Books like yours, right? That people are giving away for free, that are
Mhm.
helping people to kind of expand the way they think about things. And also, I mean, I joke about it, but YouTube University. I mean, literally, you can learn anything on YouTube, right? And there's now this, this growing big profession of mentoring and coaches. And I mean, those people also are kind of like unlocking your brain a little bit and helping you expand. So there is something to be said about that. I like that you added that to your book, which is, really working on the mindset and how to expand that. So I wanted to talk to you about that because you did say that, you really do believe that anything you do can produce massive wealth. So I wanted you to touch a little bit on that. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So one of the biggest premises of the book is just that it's not what you're doing, but how you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So many people think, oh, like, if I become a musician, like, I'm not going to be able to make a fortune, or what, anything like that, like, an
Right.
artist, or whatever you want to become. We look up on Google and we say, oh, like, this has this average salary, and
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
going to determine whether or not I'm going to
So true.
go
Yep.
into that. And if you just take the time and stop and think about it,
Mhm,
like, there's always a way to get to where you want to be.
mhm,
The
mhm,
only I mean, this is cheesy and this is cliche, but the only restrictions are the ones that we put on ourselves.
mhm.
We hear other people tell us things, and then we start to believe them, because we hear something with repetition, and it just comes in, and it
Right,
just tends to stay. Um, but that's kind of where we go back to the mindset of, are you
right.
in lack, or are you in abundance?
Mhm.
And it's a journey to get there and
Oh,
to
yeah.
stay there. It takes a lot of effort to stay there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, if you can just start looking at things at a different angle, think about, okay, it's not, oh, I can't afford this, but, oh, how can I afford this? Or it's not, oh, that career won't get me that. No, it's, okay, how can this career get me that? It's just a different
Mhm,
way of thinking.
mhm.
And I'm going to be the last one to tell you that I have all the answers by any means, but I know they exist. I know
Right.
there's no problem that doesn't have a solution.
That's so true.
It's just a
That's so
matter of
true.
getting in the right state of mind to be able to be in tune with that. And so
Yeah,
we,
and yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about what you're saying, and also the fact that in some positions, like let's say, I'm trying to think of a job that only has like one way you can go. But if you're in a job where you feel like you're stuck or you can't expand, then I feel like then ask yourself, what can you take from that position that you're in right now to expand maybe somewhere else? Because I think a lot of things that happens to people is they think that this is all I know,
hmm,
and that's not true, right? I always tell people to take an inventory, right? Because when you take an inventory of all the things you know, you'd be surprised how much we actually really do know. And there's a lot of things in our life, right, Nathan, that you'll know that I won't know. And there's a lot of things that I know that you won't know. And sometimes we feel like if I know it, everybody knows it. But that's not the truth, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't need a book, right?
yep, it's true. It's true. And there are
Yeah,
so many books, out there,
right.
to that point, like that are, written, very similar to mine or
Hmm.
to the one my brother and I wrote. But, and that people can use that as an excuse, like, oh, that book already exists. Like they already
Right.
wrote that. But it's like, you have unique experiences and
Hmm.
unique personality and a unique way of saying it that
That's right.
may just reach a certain person or a group of people a certain way, and it's just the thing they need to do what you're instructing them to do or what you're sharing with them to inspire them.
Hmm.
And so just
Hmm.
to your point, like it's surprising how much we when we really sit down and think about it, how much we know.
Hmm. Yeah. And how much you know that someone else really doesn't know. Like
Hmm.
there are things that I teach people sometimes when I'm just talking about, oh, let's talk about your niche. Who's your niche? Oh, what's that? What's a niche? What does that mean? And I'm like, wow, okay. I thought everybody knew what that was. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But and then I realized, okay, they don't. And I should stop assuming that. I should just know that if I drop it and they already know it, they'll say, "Oh yeah, I know about that." Then I just move on to the next topic as opposed to constantly be thinking they already know it. And I think that has a lot to do with us, right? Like a lot of our maybe insecurities or thinking that like having that stupid imposter syndrome where we don't think we know enough, but in reality we do. We know way more than we think we do, right? I mean, I don't know if you've ever worked in different careers, but when you look at a resume, if you look at I'm a lot older than you, but if I look at my resume, I realize the years of experience of
Hmm.
things I've done, right? So
Right.
have you ever worked at a traditional job, or have you always just been entrepreneur at heart and went for it?
Yeah. So funny enough, I actually worked at a popular fast food chain on the West Coast, In-N-Out Burger. You've probably heard of
Oh
it,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, I worked there. That was actually my first job outside the house, because before that I just worked for my dad.
Hmm.
And it was awesome. I learned so much, to be
Oh
honest,
good.
just about customer service and just talking with people.
Hmm.
'Cause that was the first time I really learned how to talk with people and to kind of deal with disgruntled customers and all
Hmm.
that. So I'm a firm believer in, like, if you're going to get a job, um, do it for the learning and
Yeah.
not as much for the money. I mean, obviously, okay, we all need money to survive. It's like oxygen. I know people compare money to oxygen, but do it for more of the who you're going to become, not what you're
Right.
going to get.
So what does massive wealth mean to you then? When you say that you believe that anything you do can produce massive wealth, what does that mean to you?
So I think wealth is different than being rich, and we talk about this in the book. But wealth to me is there's multiple parts.
Mhm.
You can have someone that has a ton of money, but they have they're terrible with relationships. They're terrible with, like, they have absolutely no morals, no virtues, nothing. But my definition of wealth is to be a morally sound person. However, whatever that looks like for you. Obviously, treating people. There's certain universal principles,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
there is.
Um,
Mhm.
don't be don't be a jerk.
Right. Right.
Certain things, like, don't steal from people, just basics.
Right.
And then part of that also includes, okay, how's your family life, and those that
Mhm.
around you, like, do people respect you, do they see you as an admirable person?
Mhm.
Because to be honest, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have respect or respect others, it really doesn't matter how
Mhm.
much of the cash you have. or how
That's
much
true.
whatever gold, silver, it doesn't matter. Uh,
Mhm.
so those are, kind of just parts of it, and money is just kind of the cherry on top, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
In my view of wealth, like if you have those things and you're providing the value, you're going to receive wages for your service. And so,
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I also believe that wealth is love, right? It's like
mhm,
how people around you that really truly love you, and that village that you have that supports you, that is wealth,
yeah,
right? Because when you're in a place where there's nothing, there's no money, there's no nothing, and you have that love, I'm telling you, you're wealthy. You're wealthy.
yeah,
So that's awesome. And what I love too about what you're doing in your story is that you said it's your younger brother that helped you write the book. So obviously he's already on a trajectory to be wealthy and successful in his life in those ways too, right?
mhm,
Because you're giving him some tools, and maybe he's giving some to you too, right? Because it would be amazed how much we can learn from one another
yeah.
on how to expand your mind, how to be a business owner, what it means to invest. So it's awesome that you're doing that with your brother. So where do you go from here, Nathan? Like, your book is going to be out, right? I mean, I'm assuming this is why you're doing this podcast tour. I hope you're doing a podcast tour so you can
Yep.
get your name and stuff out there.
Mhm.
Where do you want to go from here? Like, what is it that you want to, really accomplish with your writing and all of that?
Yeah. So what we see, and actually what we're working on right now, is building and launching an online school, just with certain courses.
Oh,
Things they
okay.
don't usually teach in school, uh,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
are affordable for those that are little, like, obviously don't can't afford quite as much yet. Um,
Right.
just courses such as, like, building your credit. I mean, so
Right.
many high schools just don't teach that. And you get out of high school, you're like, oh, I want to go buy a house, or I want to rent this apartment. Like, a lot of people, for rents and renting things, even just
Yeah.
they require a credit check. And so
Yeah.
just so many things need you where you need that. So just things like that, just launching the online school where we can really, I guess, just reach a broader audience
Mm.
with different things, whether that's goal setting, whether that's budgeting for investing, getting started in real estate, or, hedging against inflation, just a number of things, building your mindset really, um,
That's
and just
awesome.
more of the nuts and bolts and the tools to do that.
So it's out of the box coursework or out of the box education, basically,
Mhm.
right? Like
Yep,
just teaching those things. That's pretty
exactly.
cool. That's a pretty cool idea to do. And I think it sounds to me like you're also trying to reach a younger audience as well. Is that right?
100%. Yeah, our target
Yeah.
audience really is, high school to, mid 20s, high 20s, maybe 30s.
Okay.
Want to jump on
Yeah.
board?
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's really great because they don't teach the stuff in school. Like
Yeah.
they just don't, right? And then they expect you to be successful when you leave. You're like,
Yep.
all righty then.
I don't remember that course.
Exactly. I had a friend of mine, she was a professional accountant, but did not do the books, did not know budgeting. I mean, but did great for commercial accounting. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, they didn't
Yeah.
teach you like home budgeting? She's like, no, they don't teach you that. I was like, that blew my mind. I didn't know that. Right. But there you go. I mean, and so I think that that's fantastic, Nathan. Honestly, that's really great. I'm glad you're doing that. I'm glad you're building that out. Do you have like an area where people can find you? Because before I let you go, I really would like for people to know like where they can purchase your book, how they can follow the work that you're doing, and when you drop these courses, right? Like how they can get on an email list or something. So give it to us, Nathan. Give it to us.
Yeah, definitely. So, the biggest things to check out to be able to follow along our website, openmindededucation.com.
Mhm.
That's where we have, blog posts and just some things, free things to
I
read
love that.
and whatnot. And
Mhm.
there's a link to the book on that site. But as of right now, the book is currently just on Amazon, just on paperback and Kindle. Uh,
Mhm.
so check
That's
that
great.
out. And then, if you want more, free kind of nuggets and things from the book, definitely just follow us on Instagram, Open Minded Education, um,
Okay.
and then on TikTok at Open Minded Boys.
Oh, all right now. Good. I love it. I love what you're doing, Nathan. I really, really do. I wish you much, much success in all of this because I think that when somebody takes their life and pours their life into someone else, that needs to be remarked on. It's remarkable to me because a lot of people, they think of their own life as their own life, like they only work for themselves. But when you pour into someone else, it comes back to you a hundredfold. right?
Right.
So congratulations on that. Congratulations on your journey and on your book. I can't wait to read more about it. So I'm really, really happy that you came on and that you dropped all these little nuggets with us. So thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. So, guys, thank you so much, so much, so much. As you know, I love it. I love it when people come on here, challenge the way we think, drop some knowledge on you, and tell you, right, that it starts in the mind. You can really be successful in anything that you do. It's how you do it, right? That's what he said, how you do it. So, I'm going to make sure to link all of Nathan's information below so that you can follow him and go on his website, get his book, all that great stuff, and make sure that you guys support, because whenever somebody's pouring themselves out into others to help, you know that's what we do here. We support them 100%. So thank you guys for being here. This is Neena Perez. This is Straight Talk, no sugar added. Until next time.
This broadcast is brought to you by Winject Studios. We are an all-in-one educational platform for podcasters that revolutionizes how hosts leverage content to increase engagement with listeners, downloads, and income. We come together to focus on community, collaboration, and collective impact. For more information on how you can interact directly with our hosts, access exclusive live content with offers you can't get anywhere else from our official partners, join our purpose-driven community by visiting www.winject.com. If you're ready to build a career doing what you love, then we're ready to see you there.